Who? Hold onto your trash bins, because Gachiakuta, episode for the storm, before the storm, doesn't just rev the engine after last week's soul-shredding confessional. It slams the pedal with a full cour refresh, kicking off with a brand-new opening sequence that hits like a fresh batch of adrenaline. Straight to the veins. It episode was the quiet scalpel slitting open Amo's scars, as one's the gentcard until smashing them back together frantic fractured and fizzing with that signature abyss static the new.
A pulse-pounding visual remix, Rudo's silhouette shattering into a storm of debris and was empty gaze fracturing across, the spare's underbelly all set to a revved-up track that swaps the old ethereal synths for thunderous guitars and glitchy percussion.
It's got that new threat swagger, piecing enforcer, shadows and wing silhouettes darting through lightning veins, skies not to make you ruin just to catch every cryptic frame in the id. A moody pivot to acoustic strings, and whispered vocals over sepia-toned flashbacks of the teams before days, fading into rain-slicked group shuts that scream found family on the brink. It's a tumble gut punch signalling we're past the origin devs and into audience-shattering territory.
The episode proper crackles open, and to me's dimlet in the air still humming from Amo's desert. Horrors. But the vibe, it shifted from intimate to a swarm of hornets trapped in a tin can. Redemption's on the table, but betrayal's got the salt shaker ready to rub. And
we pick up with Rudo, our fists of fury, lead frozen mid-reach after that electric finger brush with a Matu survivors, teetering on trust's razor edge.
But before the dust settles, the door bursts open like a bad omen, and in storms Tamsy, the cleaner's pint-sized powerhouse with a grin sharper than her blades. She's all bubbly family reunion energy, at first scooping up the tension like it's confetti. But her eyes, they're scanning him like a glitch in the system.
Cut to the team. Huddle Rudo's barking about, heading out to no man's land to hunt the leads on Amo's giver and those biomechanical wings, while Fu and Zanka trade barbs over Stradifus all smash first asked later Zanka's sketching contingency, maps on a scrap napkin.
Tooney chimes in with his healer dry wit. If you'll not die out there, don't come crying to me await. You won't be able to, but the real storm, bruising the subtext whispers, ripple, is Amo really on board, or is she a ticking Jinkai bone? Then bam flash to the shadows.
A towering silhouette, fans of the manga you know, who lurks in the abyss, fog-shrouded fringes, their masked face glitting under a hooded cloak. This mystery abductor, let's call him the enforcer for now, all hulking menace and silent menace, has been tailing the crew since Amo's spill motive. Pure opportunism, baby. They snatch him in a blur of motion. 1 second she's stepping out for air, the next she's slung over a shoulder like yesterday's laundry, her watchman boat sparking futilely against the assailant's siren grip. The kidnappings a visual, where a wind swept trash vortices, masking the grab Amo's empty gaze widening into rare panic as the enforcer melts into the gloom. No dialogue, just the hull of gathering winds and a single chilling handle of her boots dangling, laces trailing like broken promises. Back at base chaos erupts. Rudo's guilt from the beat-down morphs into volcanic rage. She's punching walls, literally crumpling metal like pepper roaring about. How his hesitation cost him the team's fractured full rallies for an immediate rescue charge. Sanka pushes for Intel first and Tamsy.
She's suspiciously too calm, fiddling with a stolen trinket that looks suspiciously like one of Amo's book buckles pilfered in the scuffle. The up leaves, it dangling like a hoof. We get these killer interstitials. Rudo's feverish nightmare of Amo's desert house morphing into the abyss, wings sprouting from his own back only to drag him down the episode's pulse, a roiling maelstrom of doubt and desperation building like thunder heads over a scrapyard.
No full-on brawl. Yet the skirmishes tease the horizon. A quick enforcer ambush and a parameter scout blades clashing in rain-lashed darkness.
By the fade out of her does score the rumbles like distant artillery, bleeding seamlessly into that new its haunting closier gripping, your kith mud heart hammering because that storm in the tile.
It's not weather, it's the team splintering under the weight of secrets with Amo's absence the lightning rod, drawing it all down. Key chair actors, Rudo's the eye of the hurricane, his hot-headed heroism cracking under self-doubt.
Almost a ghost in the match, and her vulnerability from last ep weaponized against her, making every shadow scream. What if she's gone for good? Tamsy emerges as well heard supreme her bubbly facade hiding a glint of something predatory, the overall energy.
Electric unease, the kind that makes you check your locks twice. It's Gachiakuta, whispering calm before the carnage, and damn if it doesn't have you braced for the blow.
Let's pour one out for the visuals in episode 4, because Game's Pictures is out here conducting a symphony of shadows and shrapnel that make even the manga's graffiti-splattered pages jealous, especially with the new oak framing the chess, like a storm chaser's highlight reel. The still holds that raw, textured edgy Uranus influence etched in every jagged line and debris-strewn frame, but this amps the dynamism to match the brewing bedlam with the sequences serving as a glossy overture and coda that elevate the whole package. The new Ops animation is a beast fluid montages of the team clashing in stylized slow low rooters punches, rippling shockwaves through rain, Elmo's wings half-formed and flickering like a bat. Segdalet's got the high energy, polished with particle effects for lightning that crackle across the screen.
Act live wires the counters with softer painterly vibes and brushed flashbacks that evoke faded Polaroids, the team's faces dissolving into raindrop supple, but it tugs at the heartstrings harder than a full fight scene. Tamsy din starts quasi claustrophobic with flickering lantern glows casting jittery. Highlights on the team's faces turning Rudo's skull into a map of microfractures, the color grading. A masterstroke of foreboding desaturated news bleeding into brew as purples as the storm meets heifer. Takes hold rain starting as a patter on rusted roofs and escalating to sheets that blur the line between tears and torrents. The kidnapping sequence is the crown jewel cour, hangtic pottery. The enforcer's grab unfolds in a hail of quick cuts of skirt, fluttering like a distressed flag, but neighing in futile blue flares they illuminate. The abductor's masked mauding grotesque with close-up. It's got that acarious fluidity with assisted wind effects swirling trash into accusatory whirlwinds, but grounded in an emotional Bitamos gaze usually vacant fracturing with a single-hand animated tear-track Rudo's rage rampage.
Visceral gold fists compressing metal with satisfying crunches shards, splotting outward in slow-mo particle sprays that mirror is splintering sick even the quieter moments. Tamsy's innocent trinket twirl lit by a side light hinting at depths without spelling it out.
Gentle prod, though the episode storm motif while thematically on point occasionally over-release on Weather as a crutch for tension those rain-slicked establishing shots. Pile up, diluting the punch of Ted, when they could have leaned harder into character silhouettes against lightning flashes. And the enforcer's design, while imposing, feels as mid-generic in the shadows of bolder manga-inspired, flourish like those graphite scars might have made him pop sooner. Pacing-wise, it's taut as a tripwire, but the team, huddle, drides one beat too long in exposition. The new oak poppin' refreshers, but the ed's slower tempo might catch some off guard after the Ops Hepe could use a touch more thematic tie into the kidnapping for seamless flow still amidst the visual equivalent of a double-shot espresso sharp and surging leaving you buzzed for the downpour ahead. Pro tip, watch on a big screen those debris details deserve the real estate. Man the storm before the storm is Gachiakuta, flexing its narrative muscles, turning the past backstory glow up into a gut twist of trust no one thriller vibes that had me side-eyeing my own shadow by the end and that new oaked.
It's the cherry on this turbulent Sunday blasting fresh energy into the core like a system reboot after Emo's raw unraveling last week. This heps the perfect pivot honoring her trauma by making it the catalyst for team turmoil while dangling that enforcer hook like forbidden bait.
I'm obsessed with how it bends. Though found family fractures, Rudo's arc from brute to burdened leader hits harder than his haymakers. And Tamsy's subtle shade, it's got me shipping conspiracy theories harder than any romance. Almost Snatch feels like pay back her empty gaze now, avoid the team as to fill, forcing them to confront. If they're clears or just more trash in the match shine, the Oaks teases alone have me pausing frames like a detective hunting for those winged Easter eggs. What keeps me up? That looming no man's land rescue'll Rudo's rage blind him into a trap or forge him into something unbreakable. And those boots, if Tamsy's got a piece, is she playing both sides?
Honest nudge the ept restraint on action is smart built up, but it flirts with filler. If the next doesn't unleash the hounds, don't will you ball us on the brawl show. The new sequences nail the heprisit of the ops got me het for spare incursions, while the eds nostalgia sting makes the stakes feel personal, fingers crossed for episode of to crack the sky open with enforce.